Finally, victory. Finally, I got the Spiderman Noir from Spider-Man Into the Universe. I've been looking for this thing for months since it was announced. I tried to get on the pre-order when it was first released, and it was sold out before I could order one. I have consistently been looking on Target's website like at least once a week, checking to see if it's in stock, and finally my local Target got some in. I was finally able to get this thing because I like Spider-Man. I really liked Spider-Man Into the Universe, thought it was a fantastic movie, and I wanted this figure. Now I finally have it. So here we have him here. We're not going to go through too much. We're just going to go ahead and give it a little bit of a spin, and then we're going to go ahead and crack this guy open and see what we have got inside. Alright, so we got him out of the package. We're going to look at accessories real quick first. First up, we do have the pistol that comes with him, and we've seen this before with some other figures, but it looks really good. It's basically a little Luger pistol, and they did a good job there. That looks great. Then, of course, we do have the head, the spare head right there, and that looks really good. Of course, no hat there, so if you want to have him displayed without his hat or anything, you've got that option right there. The goggles look good. The paintwork there with the gray lines looks great. Even the little dots there with the kind of a comic book / pop art design and style that we saw in the Into the Spiderverse movie is there and present, and they did a fantastic job. It looks really good, nice and clean. I really like that. It's a great head sculpt there. And then of course we get this thing. Now this is the exact same figure we got with the Spider-Gwen figure in the last Into the Spider-Verse wave. He is slightly different in color, and I will show the other one here in just a second, just to show you the differences in color there. But you know, he's a little bit brighter than the other one, but other than that, this is just a little figurine. He has no articulation other than his head's on a ball joint, but that's, I mean, that's it, and it doesn't do anything else but that. It just kind of sits there on your shelf like that. So, I mean, for whatever that's worth, I guess. Alright, so let's look at the figure itself. Now, I will say, this figure looks great. I mean, I love everything that they've done to this. It's just got that perfect stylistic look to it. Just everything on it looks fantastic. The head sculpt, the hat, you know, the clothes, the body, kind of plain and simple, yet at the same time, I mean, it's an all-new sculpt and it looks really good. Just everything, you know. There's not a lot of details in there as far as the sculpt goes, but it works for this character. The boots look good, have a nice shine to them, look like nice big leather boots, and everything's really just down in the details. Of course, we've got the belt that he's got there, which looks fantastic. Arms look good as far as being that jacketed arm look. You know, we've got the little details there with that that same little kind of pop art comic book style, you know, accents there. We've got some of them there. We've got them here. Up on the shoulders, obviously on the face, just like we had on the other one. There's the other shoulder right there. We've got them on the hat as well, which looks really good. I mean, they just did a really good job with this. The only thing that I have a complaint about this is, honestly, this coat. I mean, I get it, and from a stylistic standpoint, yeah, it's, you know, kind of how he looked in the movie and all that kind of stuff. As a figure standing on your shelf, this just really doesn't work that well. It's just too much. It sticks out too much. It doesn't look right because this doesn't move. It's just, I don't know. I don't dig it. I like everything else, and he looks cool, but I don't dig the way the cape or the jacket is just kind of flaring out like that. It interferes with his movement on his arms, which is a shame. Like, you know, if you want to put his arms back here, you have to bring him up at the elbows because you can't put him down because the coat stops you from being able to get any movement there. So that is a shame there, and honestly what I'm probably going to try and do is heat this up a little bit and see if I can get this jacket to kind of calm down a little bit anyway, just for better display value there. But as far as articulation goes, basic Marvel Legends stuff. You know, you've got the double jointed knees and elbows. You've got the thigh swivels, the bicep cuts. You know, his arms come up. It look pretty good. You know, he's got the ball joint where his head goes, although with the hat and everything and the collar, which the collar looks phenomenal. But obviously it is going to restrict, you know, articulation there in the head. But it's got the basics that you would need, you know, not Spider-Man level as far as, you know, articulation goes. But this is Spiderman Noir. You know, you don't see him doing all the same acrobatic stuff that you see regular Peter Parker Spider-Man do. So I think it works for the character. Again, my only real complaint is the coat, and that it does kind of restrict display options in my opinion, and it does restrict some movement in the arms, and that's kind of not cool. Other than that, really digging this guy. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some comparisons here to some other figures, and also we're going to do a little swapping here, play around a little bit, and see what we can kind of do with this figure. Alright, so we got to compare it to the other Into the Spider-Verse figures that we've already got. So of course we got Peter B. Parker, we got Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, we've got Prowler back there, and of course up front we've got the older version and the newer version of Spider-Ham, and you can see the difference between these two right here. Obviously, this new one that we've got here on the right is a little bit brighter, a little bit bolder in color, a little bit more vivid, that kind of thing. But all in all, still, they're basically the same thing. There's really no difference here. There's no reason why you would want one over the other. Neither one of these is great, by the way. They're not an actual figure. It's just kind of a figurine. But there they are in comparison, and I think this Spider-Man Noir looks pretty damn good here. Alright, so of course we got to throw them up against some other black-suited Spider-Man. So on the right we've got the old school Spider-Man Noir that we've had for a while. This is supposed to be more of a comic book representation. He's basically all reuse with the exception of the head, but still I think it's a good figure. I think it works. I like it a lot. But I will say, other than the coat, which works better on the older figure, the new one's way better of a figure and just looks a lot more Spider-Man Noir-ish. And of course on the left we've got my personal favorite version of the black suited Spider-Man. This is the old Red Hulk Build-A-Figure wave. Got the blue accents, kind of, I don't know, the stylistic just way that he's sculpted. Kind of reminds me of my favorite Spider-Man artist when I was a kid, which was Eric Larson. So just love that figure. But either way, this Spider-Man Noir looks fantastic here. Alright, so now it's time for some head swaps here. Of course, the first one we're going to try here is the one that came with this figure. Of course, this is the unhatted version of Spider-Man Noir from Into the Spiderverse. Now, of course, we've got to try it with the other Spider-Man Noir head from the comic version, and this actually looks really, really good. And of course, you got to go with the old standby, the bearded Peter Parker head that we've had forever that really just kind of looks great on just about any figure you put him on. Then, of course, we got the unbearded head sculpt of Peter Parker from the Renew Your Vows 2-pack. And then if you want to do something a little bit more Nicolas Cage-esque, since that's who played him in the Into the Spider-Verse movie, we've got this Michael Fassbender head from the Fox Magneto figure that doesn't look too bad. Then, of course, we got one of my favorite head sculpts that we've gotten that you can use on just about everything. This, of course, is one of the Hydra Soldier heads that came with Red Skull in the, I don't know, 10 years anniversary, whatever MCU pack. And, I mean, honestly, this looks like it could be Spider-Man Noir, just like maybe wearing a gas mask or something. And because, you know, we've got Spider-Ham, I mean, what would happen if, I don't know, Pork Rind took over Spider-Man Noir? Might look something like this. And then just to take a quick look at what this guy looks like without his coat on, it's not too bad. Granted, the arms don't really match the torso that much, but because there's not a weird transition at the shoulders, it kind of works. I mean, you could display it like this if you want, and he definitely looks better without the hat when he doesn't have the coat on either. And again, there's not really any detail there on the chest, on that whole torso area. But, you know, I mean, it doesn't look half bad. Much better than I thought it would. And that kind of flat torso kind of matches the lack of detail on the rest of the figure. So, all in all, not too bad. Probably not the way you'll end up displaying it, but, you know, it could work. Alright, and I went ahead and did a little bit of a modification to his coat just to make it a little more displayable and look a little bit better. I just kind of heated it up and then just kind of molded it into where I wanted it, just kind of bringing the coat in towards his legs and then once it cooled down, it actually will retain its shape, and it's very, very easy to do. I just used a blow dryer, not very difficult at all. And again, I think he looks way more displayable. I think he looks better, not so windswept, and this kind of helps get that look that you probably want if you're going to put him on the shelf with a bunch of other figures. All right, so before I get into price here really quickly, I want to address something that I saw a lot of complaints about online, that somehow this guy doesn't hold his gun properly, that you can't get his finger into the trigger guard. I don't know why people are having that issue, unless I'm just special and got the only figure on the planet that can do it with no effort whatsoever. I don't know, but as you can clearly see, he's holding his gun properly. So I don't know where that came from. I'm not sure, but mine works just fine. All right, so for price, this guy goes for $29.99, so 30 bucks. So you're paying $5 more for him than you would at that kind of entry-level Marvel Legends price where most of the other figures sit at. Now, they do that because they consider him a deluxe figure because he supposedly comes with an extra figure. But I'm sorry, Spider-Ham is not an extra figure. It's an accessory. It's kind of a big accessory, but it's still an accessory. He has no articulation other than a ball joint in the head. That's it. Is it worth the extra $5 in plastic? No, it's not. Because, I mean, honestly, he comes with a head, a gun, and basically a bobblehead type looking figure that isn't very big and has no articulation. That's really no more accessories that you're going to get in a lot of other figures that come with multiple hands, an extra head, weapons, all that kind of stuff. So you're not really getting more for your money, in all honesty. I mean, you're just not, period. So just on that level, I don't think it's worth the extra $5 upcharge for what you're getting. But this is a really good figure. I mean, look, it's plain. It's simple, but it's done really well and is a great representation of the character. I love the new sculpt. I love the pinless joints. Outside of the issue I had with the coat, which I was able to easily fix, everything else on it is pretty much perfect for a Spider-Man Noir character. And this is definitely a better figure than the last Spider-Man Noir, the only other one that we've ever gotten. So on that level, yeah, it kind of is worth the extra $5 because you're getting a really good figure. But ultimately, you're going to have to figure that out for yourself. For me, I'm glad I got him. I'm happy with the figure. I think they did a great job on this one, and I got to give it 2 thumbs up. So that is it, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. Do you have this figure? Do you want this figure? Do you not want this figure? You're not willing to pay the price? Whatever it is, let me know. And as always, thank you guys for watching. And also, remember to enjoy your collection.